Hey, welcome to the We're Better Together podcast. I'm Ian Stevenson.
And I'm Daniel Arduña. We come from different backgrounds, but we're working together. So our goal is to help you navigate being better together in the various sectors of your life by bringing you a once-a-month interview and some stimulating thoughts on the weeks in between.
We hope this podcast keeps you tracking on building something better together, whether it's your marriage, your family, your workplace. We want to serve you. So here's today's episode.
Welcome back for another 10-minute tune-up. Ian and I are excited to just have another little discussion here to help you out today with a specific issue. We want to title it this: Next Man, Next Woman Up. How do we deal with these moments where we need next man, next woman up? And this can come in a variety of ways. We think about that one in a sports terminology where someone gets hurt on the team. What does it look like to foster a culture of next man, next woman up? What does it look like in a work team that you're a part of and someone's going out of town? What does it look like in a marriage where there's a need to help fill some roles and some various circles within our lives? We want to have a good discussion about how do we prepare ourselves for next man, next woman up, so that there's some kind of plan that is in place, some kind of vision, some kind of culture, and that people just aren't thrown into certain situations as much as can happen, as much as can be possible. Ian, for you, when you think about this, what are some of those key things? We just talked about maybe clear vision a little bit, but what are some key things that you've been creating a culture to set you up for next man, next woman up?
Well, I think it starts with just the attitude, right? Of being willing to step in like that. I love the basketball teams, like the Warriors and stuff that are so deep. They have so much depth on their bench that they have that mentality. When someone goes down, it's just the next person's been equipped. They're ready to jump right up, get right in, be in it. And the team has that mentality. So I think part of it starts with that mentality. Like, am I ready to step in when there's a vacuum, when there's space made? And sometimes we don't have that attitude, right? Like, especially in our marriages, when your partner's gone and you got to do more stuff now, you don't want to step up. And maybe you haven't even been equipped to step up. So you haven't created that culture of next man, next woman up. And I think that's the secret, is there that culture there? Is that attitude there? Because if you do have that, you're going to be a stronger team. Right?
Yeah, I think you said something real interesting there, Ian, that for our listeners, you could be in two different positions. You might be in the position that you're a part of the team, but you're not the team lead or the coach. And so the attitude you can walk in with from what you just said is that you're ready to be next man or next woman up. Or you may find yourself in certain situations where you're the team lead, you're the coach or the whatever. And how do you then help create that kind of atmosphere and culture where the people are ready to say, yeah, I'm ready to be next man, next woman up in whatever situation is needed? That's a good explanation of the two different roles that you could find yourself in within this.
Yeah. So if you were the leader, what are some of your thoughts on how you could create that culture?
Yeah, I think that a couple ways is we've had some conversations in 10 minutes tune-ups by having clear vision. So having vision around this sense of what happens when someone's gone or when there's something that needs to be stepped into. You're already having those conversations with your team before those moments happen. I think that is a way that you can help prepare that. And then I think you're trying to foster a community. Again, we've talked some about failure too, this freedom to fail, that we welcome that, so that you're already helping people feel the sense that, hey, they know that they can step into whatever it is that they're going to have to step into. And hopefully they can walk with confidence and less fear that, hey, I could jump into this, and if something goes wrong, it's okay, but I've got the confidence to step into this position. I think those are a few things that come to mind if I'm in the leadership position of just wanting to help my team understand what's going on and helping to clarify too, what are the roles that we have in this team? What is each role that each person plays? Again, that's the clarity piece. Right. So when someone's gone, we actually know then, oh, this person carries this part of our team here. We can already know what things are going to need to be replaced.
Yeah, it's like preparing people, right? I think you used the word when we're getting ready for this, equipping. Like, you got to equip people to know how to be able to fill the different functions, and even have them almost expect to be ready to step into those things. Because this person's not going to be here forever. They're not going to do
Yep.
it like all the time. So you have to be ready. Instead of being surprised when someone gets hurt or someone's out of town or someone has to go do something, it's being equipped. It's being ready with that clarity you're talking about to step right into the role.
Yep.
So if you're leading it, it's almost talking about things that way, right? Like, are you ready? Because they might not be here all the time, or they're going to be gone, or, like it's having that and having energy around that. Not just like, oh, I always do this or they always do that. And then all of a sudden you're surprised when they're not there or they're not gone. So then you're not better together because you haven't pre-thought there's going to be times when they're not here. So, I love how you talked about that whole idea of equipping people for that.
Ian, you just used that word depth too. And I think that's something that can be prepared for ahead of time. If you're able to think through on your team, what are the roles that are needed? Who carries that? But then in your mind, you're already thinking, okay, if this person's gone, is there anyone else on the team that maybe already has some of that skill that could fill in? That's a great question to answer. Because if they do, hey, that's a person that you could look at and talk to. Hey, if this person's gone, can we have you prepared to step into this? Or you may sit there and go, we don't have that here, or I haven't identified who that is, but now I know what's needed. And we can go have a conversation around trying to equip someone to be ready for that. So equipping your people to have a sense too of multiple hats. Hey, they might have a lane that they walk in that they're really good at, but how can we still equip them to be ready to possibly have to have multiple hats at times?
Yeah, I love that too, because there's another side to that coin, right? Like it makes you appreciate those other people a little bit more when you might have to step into their role, but they are really good at that role and you're maybe you're better in another area. So like, think about that dynamic even in a family. For a family to be better together, like for everyone to appreciate what each person brings to the mix and even what they do, whether it's taking out the trash or dusting or vacuuming or whatever. And there's times where you might have to step in, but then you appreciate, oh man, I'm so thankful that you get to do that because I don't like doing that and I'm not that good at it. But so when you have these conversations about next man or next woman up, then it helps you appreciate each other more, helps you fill those gaps when needed, and just makes the whole running of your organization, your family, whatever, more effective.
Ian, what's a good example of that for you where you've seen that happen or where you could identify that that's coming up even in your life?
Well, how about as soon as we get done with this tune-up, I got to go over to my daughter and son-in-laws and I got to babysit 4 grandkids. Normally, as grandparents, my wife and I do it together. So we got changed diapers together. We put them to bed together. We feed them together, the whole thing. Well, she's not going to be there tonight. So guess what? It's next man up. I got to step up. I got to fill in. And it helps us continue to be good grandparents because I know how to do that. And it is better when she's there, but we are more effective because both of us know how to do it all.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being her that knows how to do these things, right? So, I mean, that's an example I can think of right off the top of my head. It's happening in a few minutes. So what about for you?
Ian, real quick on that one though, too, would you say that your kids have also prepared you or showed you and your wife routines that operate within their family so that when you go step in, you have any understanding of that?
Absolutely. Yeah. They've equipped us with what the routine is, what the kids like and don't like, what the process is for them going to bed and how that all works. So if they didn't do that, if they didn't equip us, we couldn't step up and step into that.
Yeah. That's big.
Then,
that's a good key.
Yeah. And then if I had just relied on her, Terry Lee, to say like, no, that's what you do. You do those parts. I do this part. But we learned how to do it all. And I think that allows us to be able to function better as grandparents and then function better even as a family with my daughter and son-in-law and their kids.
Yeah, I think real quick for me, with a little bit of time we have left, something that comes to mind would be within some of the pastoring and church work I do. There came a point one time where we realized, even though I co-pastor, we're going to have a Sunday that both of us are going to be gone. And then it really opened up the door for, so who preaches, who does some of the other roles that we carry, because we wear multiple hats. And it really opened up our eyes to say, let's think proactively within this. And that's where some things began, of training and equipping some other people in our community to be able to preach, training and equipping some other people in our community to be able to run sound. And so then when we hit those moments, we prepared people to be ready for that, and people could fill in so that services were still able to happen. It moved from, hey, we no longer have to cancel this because we don't have anyone prepared to lead out, to this can still happen while we're gone. And that's been a really big blessing and thing for us. That's then even, it's even rolled over into not just when we're gone now, but we have other people that carry those roles even when we're there, because they've been equipped and they've stepped in, and we've even been able to identify giftings that have happened within that. So I think that's
so now your whole community is better.
Yeah.
Together, there's more ownership, there's more engagement, more participation, because you started this whole next man, next woman up mentality. Yeah. That's perfect, man.
And things still get to happen. I mean, again, you don't have to cancel something or something doesn't happen. Like, it gets to happen now because people have been equipped.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Great example. Well, our 10 minutes are up. We're at 11:20 here. So we want to thank our listeners for tuning in today. And we hope that you can apply a next man, next woman up mentality wherever you are. And even think about it, how to live into that better, because that's what will make you better together if you're thinking that way. Thanks for listening. Please share this with others if it's been helpful. Send us feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the podcast. Anything else, Daniel?
No, we're excited. We'll see you next week, and we look forward to continuing this journey with you.
Have a great day.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. If there's anything you heard today that was helpful to you, that you think might be helpful to somebody else,
please like, subscribe, and share this podcast so we can help others be better together as well.